Welcome back to Atmiya Green School. I am Afreen Sayed, your English teacher. Students, today we are going to study about a chapter, The Boy Who Saved Holland. This chapter is from your new pathway book and chapter 4. Okay, students. Since childhood, we are always inspired with our elders. We are very much attracted towards their doings. We are very much influenced with their work. We are very much influenced with whatever they do. Any work or anything which they are doing, we want to imitate the same. We want to do the same. And students, we have always been trying to observe them and trying to imitate them. Like I'll tell you about myself. When I was younger, when I was a little kid, I always used to observe my father and mother. When my mother um, used to cook food, I used to observe that how is she doing her work, and I used to do the same thing when I am playing with my kitchen set. I used to see how my father is carrying out his office work, and in his absence, I try to sit in his place and try to do the same. I see my grandmother peeling the vegetables, and I used to go there and sit with her and start peeling the vegetable as she does. So, basically, what I'm trying to make you understand is that children are always influenced by their surrounding, their elders, whatever they are doing. Here, there is a boy who is very smart, very talented, and very brave. Students, we are always asked to behave brave, to not get frightened with little things, and be a brave person. We are always encouraged to do something which we are frightened of. Okay, we have various fears, but those fears are asked to be overcome and become a brave person. Okay, so here uh, we have the story of the boy who lives in the Holland, and he has saved his city of Holland. His name was Hendrik. Every nation has its own myths and legends. You are going to read one famous legend about a little Dutch boy. So he is a Dutch boy. Hendrik would be 10 years old in 10 months. Okay, Hendrik. His name is Hendrik. Hendrik would be 10 years old in 10 months. All his life he had heard about the dikes. He knew that a big part of Holland, his homeland, lay below the level of the sea, and the only thing that protected it from being flooded were the dunes and dikes. Okay, students. So here is the story about a place named as Holland. Here is the story about the place named Holland, where our boy Hendrik lives. So the Holland is a place where the level of the sea is very high from the city, which means the city is situated below the sea level. Okay, the city is situated below the sea level. So if some days there are huge tides or it rains heavily, then the entire city can get flooded. So they have built dikes. Dikes are the artificial slopes or walls which are made or which are constructed to save the city or to save the place, so that the tides or the water do not enter into the city. Okay, so here dikes and dunes were only things which were helping the city to get protected from the sea water. The dikes which were made by the humans were the most important. Why they were so important? Because if those dikes or dunes would have not been constructed by the humans, then the city would have flooded with the sea water. Since very long ago, Hollanders, so people who lives in Holland are known as Hollanders, had put up great mounds. Mounds, what do you mean by mounds, students? Mound means heaps of earth. Heaps, when something is kept one upon another, then it is known as mounds of earth. And sod. Sod means something which is covered with grass. I repeat, sod means something which is covered with grass. To save their land from the tides. Tides means huge water waves are known as tides. It was a cruel war between rising of the sea and the strength of the dikes. Have you ever visited beaches, students? You have seen that how those water tides come and they go away. They come and then they go away. So just like that, whenever those huge tides come, they get stab on the stabbed on those dikes. So that was a very cruel war between those rising of the sea and the strength of the dikes. Those dikes, it was something like, here the boy imagines that those walls, those dikes are protecting his land and having giving a tough competition to those sea waves and not allowing those sea waves to get into the city. Okay, so now what happens? They fought back, but the Hollanders loved their country and would not allow the sea to drive them out from there. They fought back the waters that roared from the North Sea. They protected the soil with the longer and larger dukes, using barrier of clay and stone as well as bricks. So what were they doing? They were protecting. They were doing every possible thing which is to be carried out or which is to be done to save their city, to save their Holland, because they love the city too much that they don't allow anything to get inside their city. Now Hendrik's grandfather had been a dike builder. So who was dike builder? Hendrik's grandfather. Hendrik's grandfather used to build those dikes. His father looked after dike and repairs. So what was basically their family was engaged. Here Hendrik's family is always engaged in the business of dike building. So he had been grown up. He had been always grown up seeing his grandfather and father seeing constructing and repairing those dikes, and he has seen the dedication in his grandfather and father, which they do, the efforts they put in constructing those dikes so that the land can be protected. So his grandfather used to build those dikes and his father used to look after those dikes and repairs. Whatever repairs are needed, he used to do. Who used to repair? Hendrik's father and Hendrik's grandfather used to build those dikes. His uncle was in charge of polder. So what his uncle was doing? His uncle was in charge of polder. Polder means an area of lowland, the area which is very very lowland, which is at very lowland. So everyone was in the business of building the dikes, and they do every possible thing so that it can be protected. Now the land was surrounded by the dikes, and Hendrik admired the way the dike was constructed. So Henry has always been grown up looking at how those dikes were constructed and how they were protected, how they were repaired, everything. So he used to admire everything which is related to the dikes. Now it's tall grassy flanks. Flanks are basically are the sides. Flanks are basically the sides, and the great stone blocks on the seaside, put there to break the violence of onrushing waves. So here our Hendrik is saying that there is a very huge violence of those waves. They come again and again, but those stones and those dikes which are built are so strong that they don't allow it to get inside the city. He would imagine himself standing on the wall as if it were a rampart, and would give a victory call to the city. He would make expedition in the countryside. So what he used to do, he imagined himself standing on the wall and protecting the city and getting the victory against the sea. He would make expeditions in the countryside, exploring the turns and twists of the walls. So he always expedited in the countryside, and he see, like, expedition means basically trips, with a purpose. So his purpose to explore those turns and twists of the walls and examining the ways in which they were built, trying to guess their age. So students, here you can see that our character, our person, the hero of the story, Henrik, is a very strong, he is very brave person. uh, and why he is brave, that story is yet to come, but you can see that he is going to be 10 in just 10 months. And here it is said that he as his family was in the culture, or his family was in the business of building those dikes, he was very much influenced with the construction business of dikes and how they were protected and repaired. So he had very much interest in knowing that how they were built. And he always used to observe that how those sea waves come and those dikes don't allow them to get inside. So everything he observed is that how those dikes, how important role those dikes play to not allow the water get inside their city. Now here, what he does, he used to go for the expedition towards the countryside, and he sees that how they how the, various dikes are formed, how they are built, and those twists and turns of the walls, and he examines that how they are built, and even he guesses their ages, like how old they might be, like how long it has been in they were built. They were built. So he always tried to guess their age. Now, one day he roamed further than he had ever gone. So it was something which he loved to do, and it was something which he always liked to explore. So it does not matter once he get into that work. He didn't care that how much work, how much time it is consuming, or what time it is there on the clock. And as he loves to do that work, so he keeps on doing that thing, and he keeps on. So one day when he came out and he's exploring and expediting the places, he just have gone a little much farther, and he didn't realize about the time. Now what happened, the sky was darkening. When he turned towards the home, there was no time to watch anything except the shady, unfamiliar road. It was still chill, stormy evening. The birds had gone to their nest. There was no sound in the air except Henry listened intently. So what happened? Now here the time is as he had gone much farther, the time in the clock is also of the evening. Now here, as he is returning, there is nothing to see. It's not that everything which was there on the place just got faded, but it was because everything was very dark. It was very still, like still means it was not, there was nothing which was moving. Everything was at its place, and very chill, cold, and a stormy evening. That means a little breeze might be there, and birds have already gone to their nest. That means it is a time to get dark, and it is an evening time, and nearly it's going to be night. Now here there was no sound in the air except the Henrik listened intently. He did not want to believe what he heard, but he knew only too well what it was. It was the sound of water. Nothing much, only a trickle, but Henrik knew what it would mean. So what happened? He really don't want to believe. Like sometimes what happened that, for example, just take an example that you wrote everything, you did your entire work, you did your homework, whatever was given to you, and suddenly your little brother or younger brother come up and with a glass of water, and accidentally that glass of water falls down on your notebook, and all your work get wet and everything gets ruined. So what will be your reaction? You will not be able to believe that what had happened. So here the sound which Henry was hearing, he did not want to believe that what the sound was, because the sound was of water. Nothing much, only a trickle. It was just a trickle, but Henry does not want to believe his ears. He knew that Trickle would soon become a gargle. Why he don't want? Why he don't want to believe those Trickle? Because he knew that those Trickle will soon change into the gargle. Okay, that means the water will start flowing in the with rush. Then there would be a gush, followed by a rush, then a roar, and the North Sea would sweep in. So what happened? He says that with this trickling sound, there will be gargle will start, and then the sea will rush inside the town. So for a moment he stood bewildered. So for a time he was very surprised and very confused. It was growing dark, hard to see, harder to locate a small leak in the dike. Okay, finally he found it a few feet from the ground. He could reach it. It was, as he suspected, a small leak, small enough to be stopped with one finger. So what happened, students? So he had heard that voice, and for a while he was very surprised. Just like I said, that suddenly if that glass of water falls down on your homework, you might will be, you might no, you not might, you would definitely get surprised for a time, and you will be puzzled. Like, what should I do now? My homework had gone ruined. Just like that, here, Hendrik, when he heard about the water, when he heard the water was the trickling of the water, he had got very much surprised, and he don't know what to do. And as it was already growing dark and darker, and in dark it is very difficult to see, and the repair in the dike which was needed, the small hole in the dike, to locate that hole was not easier, as it was very dark. At first, he was not worried. He even felt little heroic. So, what he did, he tried to stop that leak. He tried to stop that water coming from the little hole with the finger. So, initially, what happened, we'll read and then I'll explain. At first, he was not worried. He even felt a little heroic, elated to see that the finger of one small boy could hold the mighty water in check. Besides, he thought it would not be long. Someone was sure to pass by the sea what was happening and get people to repair the damage. So, what happens, students? So once initially when he had capped when he capped his finger on that league, he felt very heroic, and he felt that I'll be easily doing this, and I'll be easily able to stop the water coming from the wall. But and little he knew that someone might will pass from here, and he'll see this passing water, and he'll call the people, and the damage in the wall will be repaired. But the stillness continued. Stillness and loneliness. Stillness means nothing was moving, and loneliness means a complete empty place where there was no one. As the night came on, Henrik grew colder. His hand pained him. There were cramps in his arms, and his entire side felt numb. He could not tell how long he had hunched. Their hours seemed to pass. He called and cried, but there were no answer. So what happened, students? The stillness continued. He thought that someone will be passing over from the place, and he'll call someone, and things will get settled, as the repair will be get repaired. Sorry, the the hole will get repaired. But there was no one passing from there. He cannot see anyone, and gradually his arms started to give up pain. His fingers were starting to feel numb. His entire side felt numb. Numb means where your movement of blood stops, and it feels like you cannot move, and everything gets a kind of feeling of being paralyzed. So he could not tell how long he had hunched. So he was not able to he cannot even able to see that how long it was that he had forwarded it with the shoulders raised. Okay, there were hours seemed to pass. So initially it was about a minutes, but now hours have already passed. He tried to cry, and he tried to call people, but no one came upon. No help came upon. The pain frightened him, but he could not take his finger from the dike. The air was freezing. He was afraid he would drop him from the fatigue. Fatigue means getting tired. Students, fatigue means to get tired. So what happened? There was no help. No one was coming towards him, and the pain was frightening him, but he could not take his finger, even though the pain was increasing gradually. The pain was increasing a lot, but he cannot take his finger from there. Why? Because if he'll take the finger from there, the water will come out, and gradually his city will get sinked. So he didn't want, but he was very much afraid, and he was worried that what happen if I get tired and my finger get out of it. He stamped his feet to stamp out the cold, and it was like the water was freezing, so he was getting cold. He rubbed his still arm with the fingers with his other hand to keep the blood flowing. So what he was doing, student, with the other hand, which was not inside the hole, and which was free, he was rubbing that hand on the hand which was stuck inside the hole. So he was trying to rub that so that blood can flow easily, and a pain get little bit lighter, and the numbness he was feeling gets away. He was dizzy. Pain stabbed every part of his body. Gradually every part of his body was being pain, but he would not remove his finger from the dike. But students, he could not remove the finger from the dike. It was almost dawn. Dawn means a time before the sunrise is known as dawn. When he saw the man with the lantern in his hand, Henrik almost fainted. So now here the come there come the light of hope. There was a man with a lantern in his hand. Henrik almost fainted. So Henry was almost fainted with the pain, and he was just about to get faint. It was Libra returning after working all night. Henrik's parents had been searching him all night. So look, students, like if you get disappeared for a while, your parents start searching for you, that where is my child, where he have been, whether he would have ate something, or he might be safe or not. So all such thoughts start coming up. So here, just like that, our Henrik's parents are also very much worried about Henrik, that where he has been, what might had happened with him. So they were searching for him, but it was this laborer who found the boy. He immediately called for the help. So that laborer called for the help, and the leak was plugged soon. That leak from the wall was repaired. The dike was strengthened in weeks. A great part of Holland was saved, and within weeks that dike was made much more stronger, so that the it does not leads to the situation which held anymore in the future. The dike was strengthened in weeks. A great part of Holland was saved. So if that night, if our boy Henrik have not shown the bravery, or if he had not shown the courage, and if he had not be patient with the pain, and he would have not tolerated all the pain, then the city, the country might got into the trouble. But he didn't give up, and he had given his best shot to protect the city, just like the dikes do. So his imagination of protecting the city, just like the dikes does, came true. Years passed, and many things were forgotten, but the country is still grateful to the boy who kept his finger in the dike. So it was a long years, but people have not forgotten the bravery, the work of bravery which our boy Henrik had did. Okay, so it was a heroic story of a boy who lived in the Holland. I'll give you a short summary again, students. Here is the story of a little boy named Henrik. He lives in a Holland, and Holland is a city. It is a place which is below sea level. So there are dikes and dunes prepared so that sea water does not get into the city, and the city get protected. And here our little boy Henrik's grandfather had a business of repairing, has a business of constructing the dikes, and his father does the work of repairing. His uncle protects the sides of the dikes. So since childhood he had been brought up and grown up by seeing the work of dikes, that how they protect his city, how the entire city has been protected with the help of dikes, and there is nothing wrong which gets wrong, and the sea water is never allowed to get inside the city, and this is only and only possible with the efforts of dikes, because if dikes would have never be present, then it was not possible to save the city. Now here Henry is very much curious and very much interested in the advent of building the dikes, and he is very much influenced by the turns and moves of the walls. So what he always does, he always goes out for the expedition, and he tries to see the turns and twist of the walls, and he sees that how those dikes are built, and how long it has been that it has and how long it has been they are built. So basically, that how old are they. So once what happened, he had went just like any other day, and what he found out that uh, what he found out that those uh, what is found out that those roads which he was exploring has now been very far. He had came very far. Okay, so it has been really time to get darker, and the night was turning and painted darker and darker, and it was very much difficult for him to locate anything, and it was evening time. Now, what happened? He suddenly heard the trickling of the water, but he was very much afraid with that voice. Why he was very much afraid? Because he knew that soon that water, the trickling will turn into gargle, and gradually or everything will rush inside the city. He means to say that his city will get flooded, and he never wanted to happen. Now it was dark, but initially he was very bewildered. He was very surprised that what should be done, what should he do. But then he showed up the courage, and he tried to locate the repair. The Anyhow he found out that hole, and that hole was that much that a finger can stop the water. So he kept his finger inside. He thought that in a while there will be someone who will see this, and they will call the help, and the the dike will be soon repaired, and the problem will be solved. But the time was passing, it was getting darker and darker, and the sea water was getting freezing, and his hand and his entire side, which he was which from entire side of the hand from which he was trying to uh, uh, stop the water flowing, was was numbed. So he was trying to circulate the blood. He was trying to keep the blood flowing with the other hand, rubbing on the hand which was inside the hole. So now what happened? Suddenly a worker was returning from his work, and he saw that he's struggling, that Henrik is struggling uh, to stop the water from the dike. So soon he and his parents, Henrik parents, were also searching for the Henrik, as he was not able to as he didn't return the home by the evening. His parents also started searching for him. No one was able to find the Henrik, but the laborer found the boy, and he immediately called for the help from inside the city, and they were try and soon the leak which was inside the dike was repaired and the city of Holland was saved. So, who saved the city? The bravery and courage and intelligence of a boy saved the city. What we learn from the story, students? We learn that it is never too difficult. The situation may seems to be difficult and situation may try to afraid you, but the situation may try to frighten you, but you don't have to get afraid, and you have to be courageous and brave enough to fight against the problem, to fight against whatever it is. Okay, it might seem that it is very difficult, but it is not difficult once you start doing it. Okay, you just have to show some courage and things will get easier and better. So here there was a very beautiful story and a very courageous and bravery story of a boy of Holland. So what you have to do, students? You have to always act brave, no matter whatever the situation is. But you have to be brave and face the situation bravely and courageously, because it might seem impossible, but there is nothing which is impossible in this world. Okay, students, I hope you have understood the chapter very well and there are no doubts. Thank you so much. Have a good day.